a simple question, but there's a lot of potential answers, and we may even, each of us, have more than one. I think we're going to probably cheat and have more than one answer here. What player are you most excited for from this draft class? We haven't even, the draft is so fresh. We haven't even gotten to this conversation yet. 866-979-3776, Mac and Jack's text line to join this one. Bump, you said that your answer might surprise me. I have, like, an obvious guess, but I think I'm wrong now.
The obvious is who?
I thought Zach Charbonnet.
Yep, it'd be Charbonnet. The obvious for me would be Charbonnet or Njigba.
Yes.
But I'm not going there.
Okay.
I'm going with Cameron Young out of Mississippi State because he has a big responsibility. Now, I don't think they're going to put him out there by himself. He's a D tackle. He is 6'3", 309. They're not just going to put him out there and say, all right, Cam, save the day. We're relying on you to stop this run, to change this run defense. But they're going to say, look, you're going to get every opportunity to be the guy that we think you are. Pete Carroll was on with us the other day. He goes, look, we were sweating out. We were hoping we were going to be able to get Cam Young because he realizes, one, there is a need at D tackle and that this was the guy for them. They felt comfortable taking him later in the draft and picking guys in front of him like Anthony Bradford and such. So I look at Cameron Young. 37 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 1 sack in 2022. You're not paying him for sacks. You're not necessarily paying him for TFLs. You're paying him to keep the guys behind him clean. I'm talking about Bobby Wagner and Devin Bush. Take on these double teams, disrupt the pocket, make the quarterback move, allow Uchenna and DT and Boye Mafe and Derek Hall to all eat. So I'm looking at Cam and I'm saying, all right, man, big fella, lean on these double teams, stalemate the offensive line, do the dirty work, and he can play a big part.
I was just going to mention Pete Carroll saying Cam Young when we asked him, like, what player were you nervous to get? And I think that because they got so many of those guys in the trenches on day 3, I just assumed, oh, these are guys that are backups. These are guys going to be not fighting to make the squad per se, but I'm not looking at them as day 1 starters. They've also got to go out and earn it. And so I didn't feel like completely reassured in any questions that I had about the defensive line. But I think there's also a very real possibility, just as there is every single year with every single team, that you have a random 5th rounder, a random 4th rounder, 6th rounder, what have you, that comes out and ends up earning a spot. I mean, heck, you can have an undrafted rookie free agent. Look at Poona Ford, who came on this squad from Texas and earned a starting gig, or at least part of the rotation. Like, it's a possibility. If you're Devin Witherspoon, you're a day 1 starter. You're not losing that job. That's your job now.
Yeah,
Michael Jackson, I hope you can earn a backup spot, right? Like, he played his tail off last year, but you spend a number 5 pick on a player, that player is starting. It's not the same with those day 3 guys. And so I am really hoping that that they find a surprise there because they need it.
All right, who you got?
Okay. I chose the 2 obvious ones. I skipped Witherspoon. But I chose these 2 because of where they were drafted and the history that this team has, good and bad. I'll start with Jackson Smith and Jigba. I want to say the highest drafted wide receiver before Jackson Smith and Jigba by Pete and John is Paul Richardson at 44-ish out of Colorado back in, I want to say 2014. And he didn't work out. They've spent a 3rd rounder on Amara Darboh. He didn't work out. Like
Richardson worked out a little bit.
He worked out a little bit, but he didn't get I don't think he got a second contract.
No, because they didn't want to pay him that, but he got money elsewhere.
Exactly. Well, because he had a really good final year, and then they were like, well, shoot, like, you may not be able to replicate this, but like, he was a legit wide receiver 3. I think, though, that their greatest success has come with 2 drafted receivers, right? With DK in the 2nd, Tyler in the 3rd. Great. Fantastic. Was Tyler a 3rd rounder? Yeah. And those 2 have performed really well. You haven't seen more capital used on wide receivers return. I think Jackson is one of the more talented receivers and more like sure thing type receivers they've drafted. I am very curious to see how he fits into the offense, specifically because this team has really struggled on 3rd down conversions. And I think that Jackson, along with Zach Charbonnet, can potentially help address that problem. You converted 38% of 3rd downs last year. If you can believe it, that's actually kind of an improvement for them. And guess what Pete Carroll says after every single loss? 9 times out of 10, hey, Pete, what happened? Yeah, we just got behind the sticks. You know, we just weren't moving the sticks. We got, into some 3rd and long situations. I guarantee you, he looks at those football fundamentals, and 3rd down conversions are something that he knows this team needs to get better with. And so I wonder if both Jackson and Zach Charbonnet are part of that plan.
Most definitely, especially in the slot on third downs, especially when you're getting blitzed heavily, right? The obvious rushing down, you're going to get more pressure. Here's how Charbonnet is going to help on third down, and I agree with you. I wanted to go in Jigba and Charbonnet, but I felt like you were going to go that direction, so I went Cam. Charbonnet is going to help you on third down because he's going to help you on first down as well. He's going to have the opportunity to set the tone on first down. Now, Ken Walker's going to be your back. He's going to get the bulk of the carries. But if you are involved in a physical type game and you want to pack it in and get 3 tight ends or maybe 2 running backs at a time or whatnot, Charbonnet is going to be that powerful type of back. So, yeah, I agree. I think third downs are huge for any team in any level of football. And your slot receiver when getting pressure off the edge and your running backs are going to play a significant role with that. I agree.